tens of thousands or presumably hundreds of thousands of MAGA protesters, MAGA activists, have been descending on Washington, D.C. You've been looking into this, haven't you?
Yeah, so this is the 5th. So yesterday for us, I think for the most Americans now, it's also yesterday. Just people coming up early because you want to get there for your hotels and whatnot. Yeah. So people wanted to meet up beforehand as well, and they had a bit of a rally, which, okay.
Yeah.
So the
high energy.
The response, obviously, from the leftists, if you can get the one up, is like, I don't care how many Nazis march on Washington. It doesn't change the fact that Biden will be president in 15 days. It's like, of course, yeah, they're all Nazis.
That's right.
Yep, pretty standard. So Trump decided to tweet out something saying he will be at the protests for tomorrow, so today now. So He will be there. I don't know what time.
Well, I actually do. Apparently, he'll be speaking at 11 a.m.
DC time.
So, so that's 4 p.m. here. So basically, about an hour after we finish the podcast, Trump will be speaking.
So we'll get to see that, which will be interesting.
And who knows what Trump says anything. Whatever's in the front of his mind, whatever he feels is the right thing. He's got no differentiation between his internal, external monologue. It's just monologue to him. And so he just speaks in this wonderful stream of consciousness. So, and I mean, this is the tinderbox. This is really all of the people who are really concerned about this, tens of thousands of activists with Trump, and anything could go down, I think.
Yeah. We have the plan for today up just in case anyone's wanting to see it, but I don't know. We got word just before we started that apparently some of this has changed because the police are now trying to lock areas off because I assume there have been security threats. I imagine a lot of leftists want to murder Trump right now because that's how they'd see to resolve this, which, obviously wrong.
I think a lot of them just want to fight with the MAGA activists anyway.
There's that as well, which we have evidence of. So the other funny thing from this was obviously everyone was getting planes over because you want to spend the night and then go out. So there's endless footage of people on, planes. And just everyone realizes, hey, everyone else here is wearing a MAGA cap. So if we can get the video up, this is a... Oh, no, that's the next one afterwards. But this is just the crowd hanging out there. But I think the next one should be the planes. Yeah, so this is a candidate for some seat in California. I don't think he won. But you can see him there with a megaphone. And they're just singing patriotic American songs.
Awesome.
So, but this isn't the only one. There's multiple planes where people are singing this.
Yeah, I saw loads of people on Twitter like posting screenshots of flight bookings. It's like everything's sold out. Everything's just out full. They can't get a flight over, and it's like, right, okay. So this is huge.
It certainly seems like his supporters are coming out.
Yeah, bigly.
I do feel bad for anyone who's non-political on that flight. I imagine you're just like, oh, for God's sake.
What the hell's going on?
Anyway, there's also the fact that the Hippies for Trump got searched, which weird. Just all getting raided before the big day, and they're pointing out there isn't convenient that an RV went off just before, and then they have an excuse to search all the RVs. I mean, I think it's actually reasonable. We found out about the RV. It seems to just been some loner, that guy in Nashville, put himself up. Yeah. But yeah. There's also some other weirdness that's going on, though. People reporting that their map system on their phone for DC just suddenly goes down.
Yeah, this is the Apple Maps, if I understand it. And I, once, twice is coincidence, but 3 times is enemy action. And then I saw hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these when I was scrolling through Twitter yesterday.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't seem to be a fake. It seems to be a real outage in the area, but it doesn't make any sense.
And it's only to directions to Washington, D.C.
If you wanted to get, somewhere in DC, it would just go, sorry, can't do that.
Yeah.
Well,
enemy action.
That's a thing that seems to have happened. There's also the Proud Boy leader who was suddenly arrested, I think, 2 days ago?
Yes.
And then he was charged with destroying property because he'd gone to a march or a protest, I don't know.
Right.
And they passed a church, and the church had a Black Lives Matter flag, and they assumed, because Black Lives Matter were in the area, they've been putting stuff up and whatnot. And my understanding is he took that and he burned it because he was like, you shouldn't be putting propaganda on, churches or anyone's property. But I don't know the truth, but it seems to be that flag actually belonged to the church. He had no idea what kind of church it was. Apparently, it's a historically black church. So someone from the congregation, maybe the owner, has put that up instead. So he got charged with this, and then all of a sudden he's been released because it was like, well, okay, no real reason to keep him. But the bail conditions were that he cannot go to Washington. Why?
So he got James Goddard.
Yeah, he got you're banned from the political area, and it's like, well, right, that's a political action then.
Yeah.
What else are you doing? So, obviously the Proud Boys are there now. I don't know who's leading them, But there's also been a bunch of, I mean, there's a reason the Proud Boys are there is because of the rando attacks you get at any Trump gathering. We made a video about this for the Lotus channel, if people want to go check that out. But this is Ryan Hartwig. He was at an airport, and some guy got assaulted just for saying to someone was asking, where are you coming from? What are you doing here? He says, oh, I'm here for the Trump rally, and they sucker punched him. And I've seen some leftists try and claim that this is all fake. People are, I don't know, punching themselves and making it up or falling on door handles.
Yeah, all right. You're not. Yeah, I realize that when you're out there faking hate crimes every day, that you think that the other
Everyone
side
else
are
does
also. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But the thing is that we've got the video evidence of people on the 5th at the night being assaulted and harassed by random either BLM or Antifa. It's hard to, they're one and the same these days. So if you can get the next one, it's just this old guy who's just out there, wants to be part of the MAGA crowd. And this lady here with the umbrella just starts screaming at him, and he's just like, leave me alone. I don't want to talk to you. So the quote from her is, I can do what I want. I'm not effing old. This is Black Lives Matter Plaza. Explain yourself.
This is Black Lives Matter Plaza. That was, renamed like a month ago?
Yeah.
This isn't historically Black Lives Matter Plaza. You've just taken this over.
But also the 2 points there, I'm not effing old. As if, if you are old, you're not allowed to be out.
Yeah.
Okay. But then also explain yourself. Why are you here? It's because I'm a free man living in a free country.
And I support Trump, and I'm here to protest.
Yeah. What's your problem with that? And this is the thing. It's not just she's harassing people. The next one, she actually does assault a guy. So this guy, he's getting the umbrella put in his face, and he's obviously irritated by this, so he pushes away, and she maces him for pushing her. And then she starts fighting with that guy. And this
She seems totally reasonable.
Total normal people.
Yeah.
So the idea that there's going to be more violence is not an unreasonable assumption. If these people come to the Republican rallies, violence happens. And this is the process here. It's not the Republicans going out to, I don't know, a leftist gathering and being like, we're going to punch them up because they're a bunch of commies. Yeah. We'll have a Republican gathering, the socialists will turn up because they believe you're Nazis, and then we'll start the trouble, and then both sides fight each other. Well, okay, who caused this? Well, it's the people coming to another person's rally, surely.
Yeah.
We booked this. This is ours.
The Republicans are completely within their rights to have this protest.
Yeah. So there's also one scuffle yesterday. We've been able to work together a bit of a timeline to figure out what went on, because there's only little clips of different points. So the first one here is a black lady who I assume is making fun or something, and then a white lady tries to grab her phone, so she turns around and sucker punches the white lady in the nose, and then some guys here grab her and take her over to the police line. I assume because...
Is she police? What's she wearing? Look,
I don't know. It's hard to read.
She looks like she's got the same badge on her arm.
It could be anything. It could be fire service or something.
Well, it could be.
They take her over to the police
Oh my God.
to get her out or to be arrested, and then the scuffles with the police there, probably because of misunderstandings from officers who can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
Suddenly the crowd's coming towards you, so you want to push the crowd back because
Yeah.
you have to keep the line. That is riot control. So then they eventually figure out, they take her out. I think they also take out the lady who was sucker punched who turns up to talk to them. So that's what the scuffle is. That's the one that's going viral at the moment. It's not really that big of a deal. Just someone tried to take her phone. She punched him.
Yeah.
And there was a scuffle. But if we can get the face up, just so you can see the lady who was punched. Well, you can see it there, actually. But we have another angle if we can go to the next one. You can see her up there. It's pretty bad, but that's what happened yesterday, and that's just one small incident. So you add 1,000 socialists turning up from all over the country. Potential for violence is there.
That's why, frankly, I think that today is going to be a historic day. I think today is going to be one of those days that people look back on. I mean, I dread to think what's going to happen. I don't want to make any predictions, but I don't think anything that's going to happen is going to be good in the short term anyway.
No. I think we have one more angle of the scuffle there. We can get that one up. Yeah, just to show that it is the same incident.
Yeah.
But there's the thing. It's not... I don't think this is massively huge. We've had plenty of street violence at this point in American politics. That won't be new. It'll be what Trump does with his rally.
Yes.
It's what he will do in that.
Yes. I mean, Trump's going to have tens of thousands of people at his... just hanging on every word. And he's going to be there. And... so yesterday, there was a kind of pre-rally rally, and a bunch of people like Alex Jones and various others spoke. And Alex Jones must be loving all of this, really. This is 1776 commencing again. This is exactly what he's been talking about. But there was...
who knew his... you play a series of games, and suddenly you find there's a linking arc. All of Alex Jones's random stories, there's been a linking arc the whole time.
Well, they are actually all coming together, and... like when he's talking about like end of the Republic stuff, well, we're actually at that point where we're looking at what is probably going to be the end of the Republic. I do think this is going to be one of those parts. And I think that there are definitely elements in the Trump supporting camp who expect civil war, who expect fighting to happen. And, excuse me, and I think that General Flynn is one of these people. Now, he has been, for quite some time now, a very hardcore Trump partisan. And if...
Well, he made him Secretary of Defense or something, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
So.
And he pardoned him. And so, understandably, I'm not saying he's not justified or anything being a Trump. I'm a Trump partisan, but the fact that he's a general, the fact that they have what is essentially going to be some kind of small army, and this is the kind of rhetoric that he was saying yesterday at this speech. And I want you to just pay attention to the grand scope of what he's talking about. These are the big issues.
Do not take for granted in this country the fresh air of liberty that we breathe. Never take for granted what you have. Never take for granted the sacrifice of millions of men and women that are our forefathers, our foremothers that stood before us in the line of fire elsewhere around the world for other countries, for other people, and for ourselves. Never take for granted for who we are as an American people. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed still standing here today that the United States of America can't get its presidential election right. One of the great things about being an American is our culture. In our DNA, we feel freedom. We bleed freedom. And we will sacrifice for freedom. It is not something that can be taken for granted. We in this country, we're awake. As that young lady that was just out here talking a little bit ago, where she was talking about our various revolutions, the various things that our country has experienced over our history. We cannot ever take anything that has gone before us for granted. This country is awake. Tomorrow, trust me, the American people that are standing on the soil that we are standing on tonight, and they're going to be standing on this soil tomorrow, this is soil that we have fought for, and we will fight for in the future.
So, pretty epic rhetoric.
Yeah.
It's about our forefathers and the blood and the sacrifice that they've been through, and we're going to fight now, tomorrow. I mean, that's Civil War rhetoric.
I mean, he was literally calling for martial law
Yes.
a week ago,
Yes.
with the president being Lincoln, in the idea that Civil War made it possible, therefore.
He wants to fight Civil War, and I don't really have much of a comment on that because
I'm going to disavow.
Yeah, disavow. But yeah, so we're really at that kind of point where it's all or nothing, it seems.